Well, hello, First Baptist Church, and all of our friends that tune in here on a regular basis. We're checking back in with another virtual visit. We started to do this outside, but it was just too windy, although very nice, but just too windy this afternoon. So we've moved indoors here, but we just wanted to check in and see how you all have been doing lately. Things have been going well here. I know it's been a little while since we checked in. And since we checked in last, our nephew, Aiden, got married.
Yes, he did last weekend.
So congratulations to him and his new bride, Kaylee. It was a beautiful ceremony.
It was. It's outside at Hayes, and I'd never been there. You'd been there. But I
had a wedding there one time.
I hadn't been to the wedding
chapel
thing, but that was really nice. It was really well done.
Yeah. And although it was hot that day, we were in the shade, so it was a beautiful wedding. And the thing that was beautiful about the wedding was how Christ-centered it was. I mean, that's what makes a wedding beautiful anyway. And it was very Christ-centered. And as we were watching the wedding and then even the reception afterwards, it was just a joy to take part in celebrating a gift of God. I mean, that's what marriage is, of course.
It was a nice celebration, definitely. Joyful celebration.
Yeah.
We got a family picture done. I mean, not like a formal thing, but that was a highlight for me. Kids didn't like it, but we got everybody together at one time.
So you families at home, do you have a hard time corralling everybody together for a family picture?
When everyone looks like at least semi-decent, and everybody's smiling or not grimacing. And
we thought we've got everybody kind of dressed up. Let's get a family picture. Yep. So we got one of those, and that was a lot of fun too. But the wedding was great, and congratulations to Aiden and Kaylee. Yeah. We were just prayerful for every blessing and joy upon your new life together. Yes. So for a couple of announcements coming up, Christina, I know you had an announcement you wanted to mention.
Our first 5 ladies, I've updated. You can't see that, but I updated our first 5. We're going to start a new study on Monday called Prone to Wander, and it's on the minor prophets. It starts with Hosea, and it goes all the way through all the minor prophets right up to the end to where the New Testament starts. So it's a 40-day study, just like we've been doing. And if you check it out, it's there. It starts on Monday. I don't even know what date that is. So it's Monday. That's all I know.
Okay. We have a minor prophet on the preaching schedule, possibly for either the end of this year or next year, depending on how things go. But it sounds like an interesting study. Yeah. So ladies, join into that first 5. And just an update on how things are going at the church. We've had 3 services so far back in the building. And each Sunday we've had about 35 folks, which is just a little less than half of our regular attendance. So I think that's pretty good. Yeah. And each week we've commented on this. It seems like even though it's the same amount, there's some new, different folks coming each week.
That's been nice.
So we've been able to catch up with some different folks, and that's been a blessing. And little by little, I think folks are feeling more comfortable getting out. Yeah. But we certainly understand that there will still be some who don't. That's completely okay. Just keep taking advantage of the stuff there online. And I hope that's a blessing to you. So I think that's all of our announcements.
I think so.
How are things going here at the house?
Well, they're busy. They're busy. We've got lots of stuff. You've been busy fixing all kinds of stuff.
Everything's breaking. I don't know why it all happens at once.
Yeah. But so the kids are busy, and then you've got all that stuff. So just lots of stuff. It just seems like every day you think it's going to be a more relaxed day, and then
I think we kind of thought once your school year ended.
Yeah.
And once we started getting things back going at the church a little bit, it might slow down in terms of busyness. I don't know why we ever think that. It doesn't ever slow down. It just doesn't. No. But that's okay. It's a lot of good stuff in there.
It is. Yeah. So we'll take it.
Absolutely. And it's been great having the kids around.
Yes. It has been.
The older ones, I'm sure they're tired of us by now, but it's fun having them around. Yeah. So we like to try to end these videos with some spiritual encouragement. And so I wanted to share with you something out of 1 Thessalonians chapter 3. So for this Sunday's sermon, we're going to look at the end of chapter 2 and into chapter 3. That will be our sermon text. But there's always more in a sermon text than what we can get to in a Sunday morning sermon, which was originally the design of those Digging Deeper videos, was to do a deeper dive on the sermon text. And we might get back to some of that before too much longer with the Digging Deeper videos. But something that didn't make it into the sermon for this week, but I thought was interesting, was Paul says that he sends Timothy to the Thessalonians. So Paul wanted to see them, but was hindered. He couldn't. We'll talk about that on Sunday. But they kind of have this group meeting, Paul and his missionary companions, and they make this decision, let's send Timothy. And so they're in Athens at that point. They send Timothy back to Thessalonica to check in on the believers there. And Paul sends Timothy specifically to strengthen and encourage the faith of the believers. That's why Paul sends him. But I was doing a little bit of research. How far is it from Athens to Thessalonica? This is the trip Timothy has to take. And by road, it's 360 miles.
Wow.
I don't know if they went by road or maybe there was a boat that they could have taken part of the way. But at any rate, it's a lengthy journey, especially in those days, to get 360 miles. But they thought it was worthwhile to be able to communicate with the believers in Thessalonica, to encourage them, to strengthen their faith. So they sent Timothy. And I was thinking about the cost of communication in Paul's day versus the convenience of communication we have in our day.
Yeah.
So what would it have cost to send Timothy 360 miles? You think of the finances involved in that, the physical toil it would take to travel in those days that far, just the cost.
Could have been dangerous.
Dangers along the way. So the cost of communicating, but Paul thought it was worth, and his companions, they all thought it was worth the cost to get Timothy back there to encourage and strengthen these believers. And you contrast that with the convenience of communication we have nowadays. I mean, we're sending out a communication right here over the internet that you all are going to watch later this afternoon, and hopefully it will be an encouragement to you. And we've got the videos that come out through the week. We call, we text. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could put a letter in the mail for 50 cents or whatever it costs nowadays.
Yeah.
The cost is way down and the convenience is way up. So if they were willing to pay that cost to communicate encouragement and strength and strengthen the believers there, well, that's a pretty good example for us to use the communication we have. As convenient as it is, let's use the communication available to us to reach out, to encourage and strengthen the believers around us. So none of that's going to make it into the sermon. That's just extra for you. But here's your challenge for this week. Who can you encourage in the faith this week? Call them, send them a text. You know, maybe a scripture comes to mind. Send them a scriptural encouragement. We've got such convenience in front of us. Let's use it to glorify God and encourage believers around us. So who's around you that you can encourage this week? That's the challenge. And I look forward to hearing how you take that challenge. So let me know. Okay. Well, anything else, Christina? Is that?
I think that's it.
Okay. We love all of you.
Yes, we do.
And we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.